We will be right here Saturday in Nashville, Tennessee. LSU at Vanderbilt, 11 a.m. local kick. This trip, a very short one, will be fueled by Quick Trip. Fall Don't Lie tour in the house over here at Vanderbilt. And LSU's coming in here with some juice, maybe a fair amount of juice. They just beat South Carolina last week. Speaking of leaving meat on the bone, how about LSU? Ground game finally woke up a little bit, didn't it? 5.5 yards per carry. LSU in this economy running the ball. Was that real? You guys really mean that? I hope you do. I said about Tuesday of last week. You remember what I tweeted out, Jesse? We didn't even flex on this. We could have. I said LSU and Texas are going to look way better this Saturday. And wouldn't you know it, Texas goes and stuffs Oklahoma, and LSU runs the ball as effectively as they have all year. In fact, that was their first time above 4 yards per carry all season. 5.5. So it's a whole new day for the LSU run game. Or is it? Here's how bad it's been. Even with that rushing effort baked in, they're still 113th in rushing offense. And Vandy is number 16 in the country in run defense. So you're not just waltzing into Nashville and running all over Clark Lee and Vanderbilt. I don't think. The potential is there with this LSU team. I said coming out of last weekend's game, I know they didn't put 45 on the board, but I've been critical of Joe Brady and that offensive staff because I thought they're capable of more. They did show more out of the bye. It was very obvious there were a lot of sleepless nights spent in that building, exhausting all resources. And I thought they did okay last week, but more so they showed potential. Like I watched that LSU effort, and I said, well, there goes Nuss's usual one or two inexplicable throws, which is just going to be part of the LSU experience this year. But I watched it and said, you know, this makes me a little more confident than the usual 20-point effort from LSU. So the potential is there. This is what I call the thin ice theory. If it's water, it's water. And if it's solid ice, you can go and do jumping jacks on it, and it's not going to break. I'm trying to figure out how thick the LSU offensive ice is because I can see it on the surface after last week. It's there. It's very solid. I just tossed a pebble out there. There were no ripples. So there's some ice that's formed. Do I feel confident enough to walk on this yet? I don't know. Let's continue. In the grand scheme of things, LSU versus Vanderbilt, LSU wants to throw the ball to win. They're probably getting Aaron Anderson back this week. Garrett Nussmeier came out of the bye where, fingers crossed, he has a little bit better health about himself. I don't know that he'll ever be 100% the entire season. Vandy is 69th against the pass. So, look, Garrett Nussmeier has thrown interceptions in 4 of his last 5 games. We can't be doing that on the road or ever. We especially can't be doing that Saturday. I mean, that's how Vanderbilt ends up getting you towards the half, where they've got a 2.5 to 1 plays run advantage, and time of possession's all out of whack, and you can't even get your offense going. Vandy's top 30 in takeaways, by the way, so that's just sitting there. Vandy is stewed, by the way. They didn't disappear. You hadn't seen them in a couple of weeks. You hadn't seen them since that Bama game because they had a bye last week. And I noticed the country kind of wanted to forget about Vanderbilt. I know the AP voters did. They may have dropped Vandy last week because they didn't play. Because according to the AP, Vandy didn't play. That means they didn't win. We need to drop them. You drop them 3 or 4 spots. You're getting Vandy's best coming out of the bye. Like, they didn't go anywhere. They're a one-loss team. They're a top 25 team. They got 1 loss in conference play, just like a bunch of the rest of y'all do, including LSU. So you are an underdog in their building. In case I didn't state that off the top, that number at the bottom of the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, is not a typo. Vandy is favored by 2.5 against LSU. Just so we've properly set the table here. Hey, really quick timeout. We'll get right back to the video. Do me one favor. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps us keep the show free. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us keep doing college football year-round, and we appreciate it. All right, back to the video. LSU has seen some mobile quarterbacks before this year. They saw Lenore Sellers, and they bottled him up last week. Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss had a little bit better luck against them. Blake Baker's an American hero at defensive coordinator, though. So I think they'll have a good plan Saturday. I think Vandy will have a good plan Saturday. Frankly, I'm surprised the total is in the upper 40s, but I'm right at 500 betting totals this year, so I'm not touching the total, but I'm a solid underlean on this one if I had to. Each team is 95th or worse in penalty yards per game. So, someone, preferably more than one, but at least someone's got to get their act together there. Pavia versus Blake Baker, man. This is what we pay the money for. This is what we show up for with the Fall Don't Lie Tour. We want to see him. We want to see that LSU defense against Diego Pavia. We saw Bama look good against him, but there were also 2 red zone turnovers. And if it doesn't go that way, if it goes Vandy's way, if they execute better, who knows? Maybe they put a much more crooked number, as Meemaw would say, up on Alabama. Well, you've had 2 weeks since then to get yourself right and to get ready for LSU to come into town. And now it's kind of Super Bowl mode around here. It's Tuesday as I'm talking to you, and Nashville's kind of ready for this. Let's take a look at what the model thinks. Vandy is a 2.5-point favorite at FanDuel. The model actually thinks the wrong team is favored. The model is LSU -1. I have as little a feel on this game as any game out there. Jesse, I think I may have changed my mind. I think I may have possibly changed my mind. I walked out onto the set tonight, and I was going to pick LSU to win. The more I think about Vandy's season and how it could go versus how it's gone so far, it's a little bit of a crossroads moment. It's a crossroads moment for both of them. I go back to the thin ice theory. I need to see it one more time from LSU on the road before I'm ready to fully believe. Boy, I'm on the fence about this. And we already made the graphic for LSU. I'll go Vandy. I'll take Vanderbilt to win. It's crazy you're talking like this with a point spread favorite. I like LSU, man. But I think Vanderbilt's going to win the game. All right, I'll take Vandy to win and cover, I guess. There it is. I changed it to Vandy. I don't know how you guys just did that. I didn't even think we had the ability to change graphics on the fly, but that literally just got changed in the past 5 minutes. I guess we're no friend to people in Baton Rouge right now. Look, you got to follow your heart. The head said LSU, the heart said Vandy. But as for the rest of you, I mean, in Nashville, if you want to support the pick, my goodness, please do it. We had a terrible, terrible thing happen today. We're moving on here. We had a terrible thing happen today. I am a big believer in Cocktober. South Carolina football in the month of October, thus Cocktober, I think is a very dangerous combination. Now, they did lose to LSU last weekend. And for the record, we picked LSU to win and cover in that game. No LSU hating here. Anyway, that has shaken a little bit people's belief in Cocktober. I'm all in. I think that South Carolina is going to give Oklahoma fits this Saturday. Cocktober comes to Columbia. The problem is not everyone agrees with me. And so one of you hit up Grok today. Free plug for Grok. Good for Elon Musk. He's going to make something of himself financially. And they asked Grok if Cocktober is a myth perpetuated by me. And Grok comes back and says, yes, the stats show Cocktober is more myth than reality. South Carolina is 5-9 in October under Shane Beamer. Josh Pate does love promoting it, though. Cockvember, 13-4, is the real deal. First off, Cockvember is inappropriate. Stick with Cocktober. And secondly, it doesn't roll off the tongue. And thirdly, if they get buried in October, November is not going to matter. We need Cocktober. I'm not even predicting the game on the show tonight. I'm just telling you, Twitter has fallen. X has fallen. Whatever you want to call it, it has fallen. I'm not going blue sky on you. I think I just may tap out entirely. So you may not see me on there for a couple of days because I don't need AI attacking me. I know South Carolina football, and Cocktober is very much alive.